Your presence here is far from accidental. You must trust the inner drive that pushed you to find these answers today. This message reached you because you have spent months waiting for a sign to calm the storm inside you. You have carried this weight in isolation, quietly fearing that others would judge your thoughts and dreams as nothing more than overthinking or imagination. Yet that quiet inner voice has always been louder, stronger, and more constant than any outside advice you have ever received. It stayed with you through the night, gently whispering even when you tried to stay busy or distract yourself. You did not create this feeling. It is not something random. It is a real force rising to the surface of your life, becoming harder to ignore with each passing moment. What if this persistent feeling is not a burden at all, but a clear signal from your deeper self pointing you toward truth? The reason it refuses to fade is because it comes from a deep knowing that your conscious mind is only now beginning to understand. A higher awareness within you is offering confirmation of what you were once too afraid to accept fully. Out of fear, doubt, and old emotional wounds, you tried to quiet your heart and convince yourself that this intensity could not be real. Yet the truth kept returning again and again because something within you knows this is important. The universe is gently pushing you to take the next step, to listen more closely, to stop dismissing what your inner world has been trying to show you. This insight begins to reveal why your soul reacts so strongly to this specific person. This connection feels unlike anything you have experienced before. It remains present even across distance, silence, and time. That silence is not empty. It carries meaning, energy, and emotional weight that cannot be easily explained. Your intuition refuses to let go because your heart understands faster than your thoughts can process. This is not a random meeting or a passing coincidence. It is recognition at a deeper level, something beyond logic. It is the resonance of something your spirit remembers, even if your mind cannot clearly explain it. Every attempt to dismiss it only makes the feeling stronger, not weaker. A force beyond reason keeps pulling you back to this same awareness, showing you that this person entered your life for a meaningful reason. You are not losing your mind, and you are not imagining things. These emotions come from a deeper and more sacred place within you. When you listen beyond fear, you begin to understand that this is not just desire or attachment. It is a reflection of truth within your own soul. Your mind, shaped by past pain and disappointment, tries to label this as unsafe in order to protect you. But a true deep connection carries signs that cannot easily be faked. And one of those signs is a strange sense of peace, even in absence. Even when this person is not present, you still feel a quiet and unshakable knowing that something real exists between you. This peace exists because your deeper self already understands what your mind is still learning to accept. This connection also acts like a mirror, revealing parts of you that were hidden or asleep. It pushes you toward growth, not for the sake of another person, but for your own evolution and potential. This shared path feels meaningful and deeply rooted. The feeling itself becomes evidence of its own importance. Temporary emotions fade, but something like this lingers, returns, and persists. No matter how much logic you try to apply, your inner self refuses to close a chapter that does not feel finished. If this is destiny, you may wonder why there has been such silence, such distance, such delay. These questions feel heavy in your heart. But you must understand that meaningful paths rarely unfold in a straight line. Nothing planted deeply within the soul can be erased easily by time, fear, or separation. Some connections pause because both individuals need time to grow, heal, and become ready for what they feel. What is unfolding is not random. It is a deeper process working beneath everyday life, shaping both paths quietly. Your meeting was not accidental. It was an opening, a moment of awakening, something that activated inner change in both lives. Even if your mind tries to label it as confusion or illusion, your deeper self knows this story is not finished. What you are experiencing is not an ending, but a pause, a period of unseen preparation where both lives are being reshaped. This separation is not punishment. It is a process that builds strength, clarity, and emotional alignment. Both of you have changed, and the distance between you represents space needed for growth. The universe is guiding both paths toward a version of connection that is more stable, more conscious, and more complete. Real love does not simply disappear. It transforms, it teaches, it refines. Confusion appears when fear and intuition collide, creating inner tension. This distance is not emptiness. It is alignment happening in unseen ways. Old emotional patterns are being cleared so that something healthier can eventually exist. If you met before you were ready, the intensity could have felt overwhelming or unstable. This pause serves as protection, allowing both of you to grow into emotional wholeness. It is a kind of silent agreement, a period of distance until strength and readiness are formed. During this time, you are being guided to build stability within yourself so that love, when it returns, does not become confusion or dependency. Distance becomes a training ground. It brings you face to face with your fears of loneliness, uncertainty, and emotional insecurity. Through this, you are guided back to your own center, where true strength is formed. As you grow, the energy between you does not disappear. It matures, it strengthens, and it aligns in preparation for what may come next. While you work through your own inner process, the same transformation is happening on the other side as well. Their journey mirrors yours in ways you may not yet see. What looks like avoidance or indifference is often internal struggle, emotional confusion, or fear of vulnerability. They are not untouched by this connection. They are processing it in their own way. Their silence is not emptiness. It is resistance against feelings they cannot fully control or explain. The emotions they tried to suppress have not disappeared. Instead, they have grown stronger beneath the surface. The ego begins to lose control when truth becomes unavoidable. This creates inner tension, reflection, and emotional awakening. Both of you are moving toward a turning point where clarity begins to replace confusion. There comes a moment when emotional distance becomes harder than emotional truth. When that moment arrives, return is not driven by nostalgia, but by acceptance. Any return that happens will feel more honest, more grounded, and more open than before. This shift will not feel confusing when it comes. It will feel clear and direct, something you cannot easily ignore. Timing unfolds naturally when both people are ready to hold what they feel without fear. Your role now is not anxious waiting, but preparation and emotional readiness. This is not about clinging to uncertainty. It is about becoming aligned with a healthy version of love. Let go of fear, resentment, and expectations about how things should unfold. Release the need to control timing or outcome. Forgive the silence and the distance, understanding that both have shaped your growth in ways you may only now begin to see. Stay grounded in the peace you have built. The end of this pause is getting closer, and you are finally becoming ready for the truth that has been unfolding quietly all along. They are not silent because they forgot you. They are silent because they remember too much. Their quietness is not indifference, it is inner pressure. It is because their ego is slowly losing its control and its grip over what they feel. They are quiet because the emotions they tried to bury have started growing deeper roots than they expected. What was pushed down is no longer staying hidden. Silence has become their inner battleground, not their place of rest. This struggle inside them, this dark phase of the ego breaking down, is something necessary for change to happen. Without this process, they would return the same version of themselves as before. Without it, they would fall back into the same habits again. Without it, they would return to this connection carrying fear, hesitation, and emotional walls that keep everything blocked. What is happening now is that life is allowing them to fall apart internally so they can be rebuilt in a new way. They are being broken down inside so that when they return, they no longer carry the same resistance and emotional barriers. This is why silence should not be mistaken for absence. Silence is preparation. It is transformation happening in a hidden way. This person is being reshaped from within. Their fears are slowly being brought into awareness. Their pride is being softened and broken down. The patterns they once relied on are being cleared away. Something greater is refining them, the same way it is refining you, shaping both paths through experience and truth. This process is not gentle, but it is honest. Both of you are standing near a turning point in your journey. A moment is approaching where resistance begins to fade from both sides. A moment where clarity starts to become stronger than confusion. A moment where fear begins to lose its influence over decisions. This turning point is not defined by time. It is defined by readiness and alignment. They are moving closer to the moment where the pain of staying away from you becomes heavier than the fear of returning. When that moment arrives, their return will not be impulsive or temporary. It will not come from loneliness or passing emotion. It will come from surrender. A surrender of ego to the truth of what they feel inside. Their return will not be half-hearted. It will be the result of real inner change. A moment of honesty. A moment of letting go of pride. A moment of finally admitting they can no longer ignore what they know in their heart. It will be a realization that what they tried to walk away from is the very connection they were meant to understand and accept. As this shift gets closer, attention is also turning back toward you in a deeper way. In this stage of unfolding, pause for a moment and breathe deeply. Allow your inner self to respond honestly. Think about what signs you have been noticing most often with this person. Maybe it is a repeating dream that returns without reason. Maybe it is a sudden memory that appears out of nowhere. Maybe it is certain numbers that keep showing up again and again. Or a song that plays at exactly the right moment, in a way that feels too meaningful to ignore. These experiences are not random. They are signals. They are patterns of alignment forming around your awareness. Whatever sign has stayed with you, do not dismiss it easily. Acknowledge it. Notice it clearly. Sometimes even speaking it out loud helps you understand your own intuition better. Signs that bring peace are connected to deeper alignment. Signs that create fear are often shaped by overthinking and ego. Your inner awareness already knows the difference between the two. You are not imagining this connection. You are not holding on to something without reason. What you feel has depth and meaning behind it. What is real is starting to move again on both sides. Emotional awareness is rising. Feelings that were buried are coming closer to the surface. Clarity is forming slowly. Truth is becoming harder to avoid. Everything is moving toward a single point that has already been shaped by timing. A moment is building where everything begins to shift at once. All of this movement, this emotional awakening, this soft breaking of ego, is leading toward that point. The process of silence, separation, realization, and inner growth is not random. It is guiding both paths towards something already written in deeper timing. This turning point will not feel unclear or confusing. It will not require decoding or guessing. It will be direct and unmistakable. True timing does not appear as a puzzle. When the moment is ready, It becomes obvious without effort. The action that follows will not be shallow or accidental. It will not come from convenience or temporary feeling. It will come from a point where running away no longer feels possible. A point where the heart finally understands what it has been avoiding. It will carry honesty, humility, and emotional openness, even if those things were once difficult for them to express. This change does not arrive when the heart is impatient. It arrives when both sides are ready to hold what they once could only feel from a distance. Life does not bring two people together while they are still only searching for healing in each other. It brings them together when they are capable of standing whole within themselves. That is why the pause was needed. That is why distance was part of the process. It was not emptiness, it was preparation. You were guided into your own growth, not just for someone else, but for your own becoming as a person. What matters now is how you move forward as things begin to shift. Being ready is not about waiting in anxiety. It is about becoming aligned with peace and stability inside yourself. It means clearing emotional space so that if something returns, it meets strength instead of insecurity. Letting go of fear, resentment, and doubt is important, so that your energy is not carrying old weight into a new phase. If old insecurities remain, they can reopen old cycles, and nothing truly changes. That is why this preparation has been so deep. It is shaping something that can actually last, not something temporary. Part of readiness is also releasing control over how things should happen. Stop trying to build the exact version of the future in your mind. Do not force a specific outcome or script every detail in advance. Real flow happens when control is released. What belongs to you will arrive in its own way, without force or pressure. When you reach this inner state, you allow life to move without resistance. It is also important to release bitterness that may have formed as protection. The ego often uses pain as a shield, but holding on to that energy blocks emotional flow and closes the heart. Forgiveness does not mean approval. It simply means understanding that everything played a role in your growth. Even silence, distance, and confusion had a place in shaping your strength. Every part of separation contributed to who you are becoming now. Forgiveness is something you give yourself so you can move freely, not something you give to excuse others. As everything begins to shift, stay grounded in your peace. You may notice more signs, stronger intuition, and more meaningful coincidences appearing around you. Excitement may rise, but peace must remain your foundation. That peace is what keeps you steady when emotions become intense. What is unfolding is not just about another person returning. It is also about who you have become through the process. Your growth is the foundation of everything that follows. Without it, nothing would be stable. This pause is naturally coming toward its end as the energy completes its cycle. The real outcome of this journey is not only reunion, but transformation of self. You are not the same person who entered this experience. You have gained clarity, maturity, and self-respect. You were never being punished. You were being guided into a higher understanding of yourself and life. Now you can move forward with calmness as things begin to open again. Prepare your heart, stay in your peace, and allow the next chapter to unfold naturally.